Hi. Yo. Um, I've tried to do this video many times. Please forgive a lot of a lot of not knowing where this video is going to go, what it's going to be about in its entirety. I am just trying to get it all out and go from there and not give a fuck so much about how it comes out. So this is me trying to shut off my own brain to speak because I think it's important. And that's that. If you hear some meowing, you probably do. It's very sweet kitty. But yeah, I can't let her in right now while we're doing this, so I'm gonna try and focus. Have to focus as best I can. So like I said, I don't know what's gonna freaking happen in this video, but I'm just gonna go, right? I'm gonna go and get my thoughts out. I haven't been able to speak really about any of this stuff. I don't feel comfortable, for one, completely with just talking about this with someone one-on-one, especially when people don't ask. So, and I understand why, because when things are hard and dark, people just kind of want to just assume it's really bad and, like, you know, be like, okay, you take care of that, and I'll be over here, and I love you, care about you, but that's that. And I get it. So no hate or anything. It's just, I feel like this is the best space for me to do that. It's really the only space. I could do it in private, but as I tried to word on my other versions of this video, whenever I see other people do videos like this, it gives me comfort in knowing that not just me, but anybody who's watching the video who relates or understands or even just empathizes with what the person who's recording is talking about. I think it's a really beautiful thing because it just shows that human connection is, I mean, it's so important. And I know with everything that goes on that's easily forgotten. But it is very important, and despite what happens and the fears and doubts, the self-deprecation, the whatever, when it gets too hard, when the depression just takes hold, it's really difficult to see the other side. So here we are. Yeah, let's just get to it and say fuck it to any of the bad shit, bad thoughts, bad anything, because although what happened is sad, I wouldn't call it necessarily a bad thing, although many people may see it that way. I want to only fill this space with love right now. So, yeah. Right now and forevermore, pertaining on to this topic about my baby. So, not an actual human baby, but my my puppy baby. It's my son. A lot of people don't see their pets that way. They see pets as pets, but he was my baby. His name is Mr. B. Full name Mr. Beasley. I never liked it. I didn't choose the name, but hey, B on its own is cute. Mr. B especially. Some people, like my dad, used to call him Mr. Bree. Like, that's the new meaning of his name. yeah, that's who I want to talk about right now is my baby, Mr. B. An absolute sweetheart that has passed away recently. At 18 years old. 18. He's been around since I was 7. So most of my life has been spent with this old, sassy, but adorable and loving little man. Yeah. So even though I'm like, my mind has accepted, has grasped, has come full circle in knowing what's gone on and my feelings about it and processing it, I haven't been able to fully, I say full circle, I've like gotten maybe like 98.99%, and I'd say that as a big exaggeration because I'm probably closer to like 60 or 70, like I feel good about the fact that I don't know. I feel good in a lot of ways about when I reflect on his life and the things that he's seen, the things that he's done, that we've done together. And I'm just so proud of the pup that he came out to be. He was fully grown when I got him. So, take that into consideration. So we probably, I don't know if I did the math to get 18. I'm pretty sure I did. Because, what was that? Let me do the math right now as we speak. Give me a second. I'm terrible at math. You know what? I tried, but my brain is so turned off right now. Here we go. Yep. So y'all are gonna be hating so hard if anybody's watching this. Let's see. Yeah, so technically speaking, he's probably closer to 19, if not 19, whenever he had passed away. Mr. B was a Dachshund / Chihuahua. He's, oh my gosh, he was such a good boy and a bad boy at the same time. Like I said, he's been around most of my life. And it's crazy to think about, but it happens. And, he was so healthy for so long. It was in the last year or two that he started to fade. And a decline in health, decline in his bad habits. He's always struggled with this urinating problem. And then it turned into a defecating problem too. And, he's old and he used to sleep in the bed with me every single night. I don't know when it was. I know it had to be during the first week that we got him whenever I was 7 years old. First, we weren't super close. He was actually meant to be with my biological mother. But eventually, one night he came, he saw me awake at night, still an insomniac over here. And he peeked his little head out of their bedroom, the parents' bedroom. And I called him over. He came over, slid under my blankets, and ever since we were just bonded. And yeah, every single night we'd sleep together in my bed. So it feels weird. It feels so weird knowing that we were already growing distant, growing apart, and then it happened. And it's like, a part of me just kept wondering when it would, because he is so old, and knowing that a lot of these things are correlating because of his old age. So when? And then this one night he started yelping into the night, like really loudly. He's got a higher pitched voice, as you can imagine, for a little dog. But when he'd yelp, he'd yelp like someone's hitting him, right? And I'd be like, I ran downstairs and he was just lying in bed. And so I thought, he has bad dreams sometimes. Like, he'll whimper and whine, he'll kick. So I thought that's what was going on. So I woke him up. But, you know, he stopped at first and I gave him some treats. Typically he likes those. Before he goes back to sleep, and he was kind of acting like he was hungry, so I gave him some. So he ate some, but then he, you know, it was almost like maybe 15-20 minutes after I went upstairs, he kept doing it, kept yelping like that. Came back down, he was quiet as I was down there, went right back to it when I left, and the next day he did it a little bit in the morning, stopped throughout most of the day, and then continued right as the night rolled around. And I mean, I knew. I didn't want to know, but I knew. And I didn't even know what was going on with him internally. I just know that, I mean, even though I knew he was getting more frail, more old, he had never looked so skinny than he did the day before he went. Yeah, my brother woke me up really early. The next morning, so day 3 of the yelping, and woke up, like I said, he was still yelping. I could hear it. And my brother said that I needed to decide what I wanted to do with him, because they were in talks of putting him down. So I gathered myself the best that I could and went down. And I just, to put it in your mind, I mean, this sort of happens. It happens for me when something really devastating is going on. It does not have to be a specific kind of devastating. It's just heart-wrenching, whatever kind of situation. I tend to just put on a mask and push through it. And I don't mean that I ignore what's happening. I mean, I face it, whatever it is, and just handle it the best way that I can in that moment, even if I'm dying or screaming or crying or enraged, whatever it might be on the inside. All of that needs to be quiet when that mask is on, because it's the only way I can really cope in the moment when it's happening. So, I don't know if you call that like a, I don't even know how to phrase it. Something I need to talk about in therapy or something. I don't know, but that's what I do, and that's what I did. I just grabbed a whole bunch of blankets, took him out of his cage, and wrapped him up. He immediately stopped yelping, and I held him, and I didn't know what else to do but to cry. I had made a pallet for me to sit on with him, and just held him and cried. There was a lot going on in the background. I won't get into all that. It's not what I want to talk about today. But I just was good. I was just trying to be as present with him as I possibly could, and it made me happy knowing that he wasn't crying like that anymore. You know, he seemed to get really sleepy. He started to close his eyes, and at some point he started to dream, I remember, because he was kicking like how he does. I used to think that he was either running, because it's something he would do when he was younger, when we first got him, even though he was full grown. Still young, I would say he's about a year, and he would run away a lot, And Dachshunds, if you don't know, they're diggers. So he would dig under our fences and just run. That used to scare me so bad as a kid. I used to cry so much, and my dad would be like trying to comfort me, like, it's okay, we'll find him, or and the first time he ran away, he came back all on his own. Like, we just assumed he was gone forever, and he came back. Like, I'm in the backyard playing by myself, and he just comes running up, and I'm like, hello? And other times my dad would drive me out to look for him, and we'd find him. One time we found him in someone's garden. Looked like he was eating some of their stuff or was in their flowers or something, but he was just he's always been a troublemaker like that, and just would always give me a heart attack, and I think it's the last time I'm gonna see him. Thankfully he stopped doing that at some point. But still. Or was I going with this? There was something I was saying. Oh, I remember what I was saying. I was talking about him kicking his feet. But yeah, he fell asleep at some point, I think, because of the kicking. And his eyes weren't like fully closed, but they were somewhat. And he just didn't seem like he was fully awake. But I held him, and I called my little sister over. Texted her, I should say. I texted her. She was just near me, but I texted her with a code that we use, telling her that I needed her. And so she sat with me and held me while I cried with him, and my brother joined at some point, and yeah, I showed them all just old pictures and videos of him. Like, I had my laptop down there, and I'm holding him with one arm and showing them just stuff. And it just felt like the only way to smile at that time. And I don't know. I knew he was gonna go, and I didn't wanna let him go. I needed to get away when I had him, and on top of that, where my siblings are living right now in this apartment, they live in a city that has a lot of places I could go to take care of him. My sister got uncomfortable because he was, making some messes, throughout the day, and didn't want that in a room, which I totally understood and respected. So I made him a bed on this couch, put him in the corner where like it was really cushiony and stuff, and laid him down there, and I slept on her floor. And I say slept very, very mildly, because I couldn't. I kept waking up. I kept having a nightmare that he was already gone, and I wasn't laying next to him, and was feeling so terrible about it. And I wanted to be next to him. I just, at the same time, and again, there's just lots of things I don't want to talk about. But I knew, even if he did go, that he was in a comfortable place. And when I woke up from, I don't know, like zillionth nightmare, I went out there, back into the living room where the couch was, and sat with him and realized he was gone. There's nothing that can describe that feeling. There's nothing like it. Nothing in the world. And while, again, as I said before, many people don't see their pets as anything but that. They don't see them as a life, just like yours, just like anybody's. And then it's gone. Or their life is gone. And not to say that the memory of them, that their love, their light, their beauty is gone, but the life has ended. And it's right in front of you. He's right in front of you, and I just sat with him. And I started listening to Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, and just played it on repeat over and over and over again. And just closed my eyes. I had my hand on him, and he just felt so heavy. And my boy's never been heavy. He's always been light as a feather. But it's like, when you lose all that energy and everything, there was just so much weight there, and God, it was just I don't know. It's terrifying. So after that, eventually fam found out, and my brother talked about taking me to get him cremated. That's what I decided to do in the end. I've never been comfortable with the idea of cremation, and I've heard so many horror stories about cremation, and if you have experienced one, I'm so sorry. But as far, I would have loved to bury him somewhere, but there was nowhere to do that, properly, because I live in a place that I don't want to ever come back to. I don't want to leave my baby in a place that I don't love, a place that he didn't love, a place where it's just ground. I had to take him, like I said, he was so heavy. It just was like, it actually blew my mind how heavy he was. Because he's a little thing, like fits in your arms like a baby. He was a baby. And he probably weighed 15 to 20 pounds at the most. But he felt like a million. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody really talk about that before. It's just something I felt then. And when I would adjust him in my arms, he was closing his eyes. His rigor mortis had made him so stiff that it was hard to, And I wanted to talk about these things with people, but I just know how uncomfortable that make them, or how sad. I feel like that was the biggest hurdle, and I'm still not over it. I probably have shown pictures of him already maybe throughout this video. If not, I'll show one now. But oh, he's so beautiful. And oh, yeah, honestly, I feel like I got out everything that I wanted to say, at least for now. But if you are listening to this point, if you've listened all the way until this point, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to do so. That even if you may not understand exactly what this feels like, if you are trying to empathize or are without the experience or relatability in any capacity, I appreciate you for doing so as well. There's not much else to say. My baby was 18, 19 years old, and he saw so much, did so much. I think if there was anything I would have wanted to do for him, other than everything that we've already done, I think I would have liked to take him just somewhere in the world with a really nice, huge, forest and mountains, lakes, things like that. That would have been a good place to bury him, something really nice like that. He would have really liked that. He was so skilled. He was just like an athlete when he was outdoors. I mean, he just knew how to take care of himself, and it blew your mind because he's like this little thing, and he just was so agile and athletic and smart, clever. Again, so sassy. Oh my god, he would sass everybody, except for me. That's what always shook me up about him, because it's like I'd hear from other people how sassy he is, and even though it's like I'd see it secondhand sometimes, he was just nothing but my baby to me. We loved each other so much. I really, even saying this sounds selfish, and I don't even know why, but it's like I don't even know, just whenever I was holding him and he stopped crying, like he just kept crying before and then he stopped. It just made me feel like he just knew, even if he wasn't all there, he knew that I was there. That it was gonna be okay. Whatever happens, it was gonna be okay. Just really hope that you knew that, And even if he passed away on the couch in another room from me, that I was there. He didn't cry that whole night. I don't know how else to end this with anything else. It's like I wanna give advice, but it's like even if I'm happy with the way things, like I feel like I couldn't have had it any other way and I'm content. It's like I just wasn't content with how I was processing it because I hadn't done this, hadn't opened up about all these feelings and stuff that were in here that I just needed to get out. In a place where I felt like someone somewhere might get it. And not judge and just listen. Okay, I'm getting to the point where I'm so like emotionally that I'm like saying things that I don't mean to try and fill it in. So I'm just gonna wrap it up here and say I love you. You're watching, you care, and you want to be here. You're holding this space with me. I appreciate you and love you. Okay, and please take care of yourself. And I'll try and do the same. I love you. Bye bye.